Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Maria, and you are listening to the Energy of Money podcast, the purpose of which is to give you some thoughts, insights, tools, techniques to empower you in any area of your life. And we see how much the energy of money permeates our lives, don't we? Almost anything we want to do in some way involves the energy of money. Remembering that you and I are here to become conscious conduits of energy. We looked at that a lot in the last session, and I know that this metaphor to become a conscious conduit might be new for some of us. A conduit is something that takes energy from one place and in an organized fashion takes it to another place, like a water pipe that you can take from a lake, let's say, and you can put it in a conduit like this water pipe and use it to nourish and water your metaphorical garden of goals and dreams. I hope you see those metaphors I'm using, because sometimes we can lose energy, and we looked at last time either by leaking it or by creating sludge that keeps the energy from going freely through the conduit. We looked at leaking energy. We looked at with the energy of money, for example, where you might spend money that you get no value from, and you recognize it. In my latest article, I give ample demonstration of, once again, what that leaking can look like. Bottom line, if you want a sense of how much money you leak, if you're courageous, I was going to say strong, if you're courageous, take a look at your credit card bill this month. Yeah, do it. And draw just a little point next to spending that didn't bring you value at all, was spending sometimes you didn't even know you were spending. One woman once told me, Dr. Maria, I saw I was subscribed to this very expensive magazine, and I was being charged $20 a month. And $20 a month times 12 months is $240 a year. She said it was a scientific magazine. And yes, I like science, but I didn't know I had, inadvertently signed up for this. So look at where you've spent money that you get no enjoyment out of, and add it up and times 12, and you'll have a picture of the amount of money, the energy of money you leak every year. Money sludge is some of the same stuff. In, once again, my latest article, I actually provide you with a list of what I call incomplete money items, which constitute sludge that could get in the way of you as a conduit being able to channel money exactly where you want it. So today, however, we're going beyond that to look at what is it to be successful and conscious. There are 4 aspects of being conscious that I've discovered over the years that I've been working with people. And I want to give them to you right now. Some of you have probably heard me say this before, so it won't come as a surprise, but think about it, even if you've heard it from me before. the four aspects of consciousness are wound up in my definition of success. So success is doing what you said you would do consistently with clarity, focus, ease, and grace. Where clarity has you become really clear about your values, about what you want, what you love, possibly the contribution you want to make with the energy, and in this case, the energy of money. Focus means learning to focus yourself on what you love, what you really want to use money for, how you want to use it maybe to empower others as well as, having a good time with it yourself. But focusing on exactly what you want this energy of money to go for and keeping the focus there without being distracted by all the information that is around us every day, from the moment we wake up until the time we go to sleep. Ease. Now, this is important. You know you're being conscious if whatever you're doing it with ease. Now, I want to be clear. Ease is not easy. You can work hard with ease. Okay? I had a friend once who he came to my home on a weekend and he was just dropping by and I saw he was covered with marble dust and he looked tired. And I said to him, "Reuben, are you exhausted? What have you been doing?" He said, "Well, I've been carving marble all day." He said, "I'm tired, but I'm not exhausted." He said, "Exhaustion is when I just kind of want to flop over, because I've given more energy than I needed to." He said, "I know when I'm conscious because I'm taking small, sweet steps toward a goal or dream." He said, "I don't try to carve the whole statue at once." He said, "What I want to do is spend at least half hour to 45 minutes on it every day, sometimes an hour." He said, 10 times a minute, 10 minutes, when you look at it, if you spend 10 minutes on something for 1 year, he said that's 60 hours a year. 10 minutes equals 60 hours. So he says, when I spend an hour on something, it's a lot more. No? And he said, but that's all I want to spend at any one time. Because if I go beyond that, I'm exhausted. Now, I've heard the same thing from athletes who have overtrained for a race. I just literally talked to someone 3 weeks ago. He's in Sweden and he is an athlete. But he said, for my last race, I overtrained. I said, "What do you mean overtrained?" He said, "Well, I worked so hard to go faster and faster as I was training that by the time it came to the race, my muscles were exhausted. I didn't do as well as I wanted to." He said that was not doing it with ease. He said, "I can work hard with ease, just like the guy who does the sculpting. I can work hard with ease. But the minute I go further, I get exhausted. And that's no way to live a life. So we've covered clarity, focus, ease. Yes? Grace. So grace is really interesting. When you practice grace, the gateway to grace is to be willing to see the blessings that are all around you. And when you are grateful, when you practice gratitude, you automatically start seeing these blessings. You begin to see that nothing is against you in life. If you're not being successful, nothing's wrong with you. It's just that you haven't practiced certain success skills. And I say practicing clarity, focus, ease, and grace is really great. So I've given you that formula. I talked about how to do it. So look, financial success, because this is money. Being financially successful, for some people, they think it means having a lot of money. And for some people, they do have a lot of money. But you see, it's not about that. It's financially successful is doing what you said you would do consistently with money, with clarity, focus, ease, and grace. By that definition, I promise you, I've met many people who are millionaires, but they are not financially successful in this way, in this conscious way. They're not being a conscious conduit of the energy. Sure, they have lots of it, but some of them really leak it, buying things that they know they're never going to use, but just because they can do it. Or they worry about it. Or they worry about what people are going to think about them because they are wealthy. By the same token, if you're financially successful, doing what you said you would do consistently with money, with clarity, focus, ease, and grace, listen to me now, please. What that means is you're doing what you love. There are some people who earn far less money than wealthy people, but they take vacations. They're with their family. They work, and yet they're not afraid of money. Many wealthy people are afraid of money, folks. Not all, but many of them. They're not afraid, and they're using it for their family, their kids, their spouse or mate, for their community. They're using the money to make a difference somehow. They're practicing generosity. So that is having a conscious relationship with money. Because at that point, you as a conduit, you're using that energy exactly in the way that it's meant to be used. I wonder if what I'm saying is clear. Because when you follow this, money doesn't eat up your life. Worry about money doesn't eat up your life. And you automatically have what lots of people strive for. It's called work-life balance. Now, work-life balance is a very interesting thing. It's different for everyone. What work-life balance is, for some people, is having the time to do the things they love with the people they love. Having the ability to enjoy their lives. And for some people, that may mean certain hours away from work. For others, it might mean the same hours, but that they're using these hours to practice clarity, focus, ease, and grace. So they get what they want to get done on time, and they don't bring it home with them. Now, one of the great things about money is that when you're a conscious conduit, you find ways to finance what it is you love. There's one woman, I will not give her correct name to protect the innocent. Let's call her Janet. She did exactly what I suggested that she do. First of all, she started out saying, Dr. Maria, I am never going to be able to go on a vacation. Never mind getting the time off. That's not so difficult. It's having the money to do with it, what I want. I don't seem to have enough money. I said to her, look at your credit card spending for 3 months. See how much you are spending money on things you don't love, you don't need, you don't want, that you didn't even know you were paying for. They just showed up on your bill, and because you didn't look at it every month, you just paid it. No. Look. And take the average. So 3 months, take the average, divide it by 3. It gives you the average of what you spend in let's say a quarter. Then multiply that. Multiply that by 4. No, wait, multiply that by 12 because you're taking the average of 3. Multiply that by 12. And you'll see how much money you're leaking. And Janet did that. And she said, when I saw that I was leaking $300 a month. It's so easy to do, Dr. Maria. Buying as many coffees, spending a lot of money every week on coffee from my favorite coffee place. And we won't talk about which one that is. Come on, we all know. She said, I cut down to 1 a week. I ended up enjoying it more. And I ended up losing weight. She said the rest of that money, the rest of all the money that I saw I was leaking, I put in a vacation savings account. At the end of 10 months, I had about at least, boy, what is 10 times? Let's say even 200. That was what, 2,000? Yes? She said that went a long way to pay for a week's vacation at Club Med. And as she was talking to me, she was planning to go in a few weeks. Just looking at where you leak it, stop the leaks, and use that money to fuel what you love. That's financially successful. Then there was another man, Mark, who said, well, Dr. Maria, it isn't necessarily about money, but I feel like I have a scarcity of time. I just don't have the time to do what I would love to do. Now, there is a general consensus with wise people, and it's this, that the only way to get where you want to go is in small increments taken over time. Now, he said, I want to paint. I love painting, but I'm a school principal for this elementary school of 600 youngsters. And I'll tell you, between the crises going on with the teachers and the kids and the parents, at the end of every day, I'm exhausted. I don't have it in me to paint. So I said to him, look, let's do this. Do you have 15 minutes a day? He said, no, I don't. I don't even have 15 minutes. I said, oh, come on. What time do you get home? He said, oh, I get home at 5:15 every day. I said, do you have time between 5:20 and 5:35 every day to spend how you like? He said, absolutely. I said, you do this. In your garage, set up your whole table for painting. He said, I love to paint flowers in a vase. I said, set it up. And every day when you get home, from 5:20 to 5:35 only, do not go over that time, you paint. He started. It was 3 or 4 months later that I saw him. He lived in Omaha, Nebraska. And when I saw him, he had 3 beautiful paintings. They were watercolors of flowers. It was so beautiful. And he said, you know what? 15 minutes a day, every day, does it. He said, I cheat sometimes on the weekends. I'll go 30 minutes. He said, but you know what's even more beautiful than that? He said, one day, my oldest son, he had 2 sons. He said, my oldest son came by my garage, the garage, and he asked me, Dad, what are you doing? And I said, well, I'm painting. He said, I'd like to paint. Can I do it with you? He said, I set up an easel for my son as well. And every day between 5:20 and 5:35, we are out there in the garage, rain, shine, or snow. He said, my son is producing beautiful pictures. But let me tell you something, Dr. Maria. The most important thing, every day when I'm at school and there's a crisis, teachers, parents, kids, the normal stuff that happens. I'm a principal of that school. He said, in the midst of any crisis, all I have to do is say to myself, you know what? Between 5:20 and 5:35 today, I'm going to be painting with my son. He said, that just makes my whole day. Just knowing I'm going to use the energy of time in the way I want. Now, why am I telling you this story? I'll bet there's some goals or dreams that you have, and you've said to yourself, I don't have the time. Yes, if I were in front of you right now, maybe there would be 50 or 60 or 100 people. I'd say, raise your hand if you've said to yourself, I have something I'd love to do, but I don't have the time. I bet everyone would raise their hand. I bet if you carved out 15 or 20 minutes a day doing what you love, you'll do it. 10 minutes a day are 60 hours a year. 20 minutes a day are 120. Yes. And even 10 minutes a day is 60 hours. It's like taking a university course, 60 hours of a course, or 60 hours studying Spanish, or 60 hours learning how to build a kite, or 60 hours, fill in the blank. But it's being a conscious conduit of the energy of time, using it the way you would love to use it. Are you willing? Really ask yourself as you hear me, are you willing to see how to take something that you've been saying to yourself, I just don't have the time to do it, and unravel that package and look at 10, 15, 20 minutes a day at the most. Do not go over that. Why? Because if you do, your brain, which is used to doing things a certain way, a certain schedule, we do this, we come home, we plop on the couch for 20 minutes and read the paper or don't talk to somebody. And here you're asking us to do something that you love for 20 minutes, something intentional. If you go over the 20 minutes, your brain will say to you, aha, you see, this is eating up a lot of your time. Maybe you could skip tomorrow. So usually I say 10 or 15 minutes a day. See if you can find something. And then do it. You can always let me know at marianemeth.com what you discover. So I hope that I've given you something to look at, something to work with today. Remember, you and I, we are all meant to become conscious conduits of energy. And today I just talked about one of the 6 forms of energy, because there's money and time, physical vitality, creativity, enjoyment, and relationship. But I say, handle your money and time first. And all these other energies will start to light up for you. So, this is Dr. Maria saying, be well, play well, and wake up to what you really want. See you next time.